Morning. Okay, everyone, happy Saturday. So currently I'm on my way to get my cervical screening done. It was formerly known as a smear test, but now it's known as cervical screening. So stay tuned because I'll be talking a little bit about that and some fun facts about having your cervical screening done, things to be aware of, things to know about, things not to be scared of, all of that kind of information coming soon. Stay with me. Cervical screening is a way of finding abnormal changes to the cells on the surface of the cervix. And they do this during the speculum examination. They will use a little brush to take a sample of the cells on the cervix. It's not a test for cancer, but it's a test for abnormal changes of the cells that can potentially lead to cancer. Yeah. So what they're actually looking for is a virus called the human papilloma virus. And this virus is, it can be found on the surface of the cervix. And some of these types of human papilloma virus, HPV for short, can lead to cervical cancer. So we're looking to see if can we find that HPV virus, and if so, then we need to actually keep a closer eye to see if there are any changes to the cells on the surface of the cervix. I can't seem to say that. The surface of the cervix. Say that 10 times in a row. So if they don't find this high-risk HPV virus, then it's unlikely that you're going to be sort of at high risk of cervical cancer. So another thing to point out is that the screening tests are not diagnostic, which means they won't say yes or no, you have cervical cancer or a high chance of cervical cancer. They're looking for those changes that can lead to cancer. So that just means that if you find you've had normal smear tests, but actually between those smear tests, which is 3 years, is quite a long time, if you find that you're having abnormal bleeding or bleeding after sex or in between periods, then it's really important that you present to your GP and basically go for further monitoring and testing. So cervical screening is offered to women and people with a cervix who are between the ages of 25 and 64. And that is usually routinely done every 3 years, unless they find something and they want to offer you more monitoring. So if, for example, they do find HPV on the cells for the cervix, then they will offer more frequent monitoring and potentially offer diagnostic screening tests, diagnostic tests that will take a little chunk of cells from the cervix and look at them for abnormal changes and any signs like that. And that is what we call colposcopy, further screening. So we will talk about that in a later episode because I think that's quite an interesting one to look at and what the implications of that could be potentially as you go into pregnancy if you have further treatment by removing cells on the surface of the cervix. So I just thought it's really important to point out that the healthcare professional who is performing your smear test, your cervical screening, is not bothered if you have shaved your legs or scaped your lady bits. They're not interested in that. They don't notice it. I do internal examinations and scans on women, and we just don't pay attention to that. However, what we will pay attention to is smelly feet. Yes, smelly feet. And if you've got holes in your socks, we do notice it. We don't judge. We listen, we don't judge. But we do notice smelly feet and holes in your socks. So bear that in mind if you are going for your screening. So on that note, talking about scaping and, beautifying yourself, vajazzling, all of that fun stuff, do remember that we don't recommend using perfumed products, and caution is advised when using products to wash your lady bits and your vulva. Let's use the proper terminology. We do not advise douching because your vagina is sort of self-cleaning. It's got good bacteria in there that will support the healthy vaginal flora. So we do advise against douching and any kind of internal washes, because you don't need it, and it will upset the pH balance, and it will have an impact as well on the balance of your good flora, your good bacteria in the vagina. So yeah, clean the outside, just some water, and that's all it takes to look after your lady bits. So it is important that you do take on the cervical screening, but I just wanted to point out that it is your choice. It is not compulsory. You can't do anything. You can't be forced to do anything that you don't want to do. But we do advise that you do go for the screening. And on that note, if you feel that you need some extra support, you'd like a chaperone to be in the room with you, or a member of your family or someone to be there to support you, then please do let your GP know when you're booking this appointment that you would require extra support during the internal examination. It is absolutely fine for you to request that. It's within your right to do so. We know that women have different sort of experiences that when coming into intimate examinations. If they've got a history of abuse, sexual abuse, or anything like that, then this can feel like quite a traumatic experience. So absolutely, your healthcare professionals are there to support you and to make sure that your experience is as smooth as it can be. Okay. And that's just a little rundown of cervical screening and things to be aware of. Thanks for listening.